In this video, I will explain the basics of data and show you how to set up Forex data using broker profiles directly in StrategyQuant. This way, the results in the platform will match the backtest we have in SQX. But before we get started, please read the disclaimer on the screen. Take your time and read it, please. Now, what types of data are there? We have tick data and minute data. Tick data capture every single price movement in the market. In contrast, M1 data are aggregated data. They only provide open, high, low, and close prices for each minute or for a given time frame. Tick data have the highest backtest accuracy. They are large. For one market, you can easily expect tens of gigabytes for the entire history. Another disadvantage is that they are very slow to process. From our experience, M1 data offer a good compromise. They are fast to process and result in only a minimal loss of quality. This assumes you are not building scalping strategies, but rather swing strategies from the M15 time frame and above, and that these strategies don't use tight stop losses. If a strategy uses a tight stop loss, I recommend tick data. You can see what tick and minute data look like in this image. On the left is a 1 minute data chart for XAU-USD, which is gold, and on the right a tick chart where every price movement is captured. Sometimes it's also useful to display the open, high, low, and close values directly on the chart. You can do this using the middle mouse button. Then a crosshair cursor appears, and when you hover over a candle, you will see the values for that particular candle. And which data feed should you choose? In general, the accuracy of your data directly affects the accuracy of your backtest. So, if your data are not set up correctly, whether it's the time zone or using a different broker, you should expect your results to change. Whichever data provider you choose, Dukascopy or Darwinex, both offer high-quality data sources. And the golden rule: always backtest using the same data source you will be trading on. This applies to every trading style. Because Forex is a decentralized market, that's a bit of disadvantage, and it means we really need to use quality data. So what should you take away from this? Build strategies with 1 minute accuracy, but before deploying them on a live account, test them again with tick by tick accuracy. And here's another golden rule. If you use a different broker, you can build strategies on Dukascopy data, but we recommend importing the data directly from your own platform to test them with your broker's data. You can find full instructions below this video. Only a backtest run directly on your broker's data will give you a clear picture of how the strategy will really perform. Now, let's see how much the results can actually change. On our website, you will find an article describing the differences in data, time zones, and settings. Now let's take a quick look so you can visualize how these settings affect the results. Here, we can see the difference between the data feeds from Darwinex and Dukascopy. Both backtests are in the same time zone, and we can see slight differences. When we compare UTC+2 and UTC time zones on the same Dukascopy feed, the difference is much greater. This is a very common mistake, so it's important to have your data set up correctly. When we look at the difference caused by daylight saving and standard time, that is the comparison between EST+7 and UTC+2 ET, we can see how they differ. And in the last image, we can see the difference between a tick backtest and a minute backtest. Here, the difference is small, almost negligible, but it's still there. This is why it's always a good idea to backtest directly in the platform before deploying a strategy on a live account, ideally using data from your broker. In the FAQ section, you will find the most common questions and solutions to frequent issues. Now let's explain what a pip is. In Forex, a pip is the 4th decimal place for most currency pairs. When Euro-USD moves from 1.1000 to 1.1001, that's 1 pip. Point is even smaller, is the 5th decimal place. So a move from 1.10000 to 1.10010 is 10 points or 1 pip. For pairs with the Japanese yen, it's different. They only use 2 decimal places. But be careful, some brokers may quote 3 decimal places. In that case, 1 pip equals 0.01. That's how traders measure even the smallest price movements in the market. For some instruments, such as gold or indices, pips and points work a bit differently. Here, prices are quoted to 2 decimal places, so when gold moves from 3200.00 to 3200.50, that's a move of 50 points or 50 cents. In other words, the pip definition may vary depending on the broker and the instrument's quotation. That's why it's always important to know how your broker defines pips and points for each instrument. Gold, for example, is quoted to 3 decimal places at Dukascopy, while at Darwinex it's quoted to 2. The same applies to Nasdaq. Darwinex quotes it to 1 decimal place and Dukascopy to 3. So when setting the spread or slippage for a given broker, take this into account to make sure your values are correct. Now, time zones and data accuracy. Let's talk about setting the time zone. It's critical for accurate backtests. The broker server time determines when daily candles close. This affects strategies based on daily open and close or other time-based rules and can cause big differences between backtesting and live trading. For example, both Dukascopy and Darwinex use EST +7 in MetaTrader, while their source tick data are in GMT +0 without a time shift. Therefore, you always need to know what time zone your broker serves uses to get accurate backtest results and apply proper time filters. Everything is determined by the broker server time. If you use a broker other than Dukascopy or Darwinex, check with their support to find out which time zone they use. Dukascopy or Darwinex. In our experience, both data feeds are just excellent. Dukascopy is a Swiss bank with direct market access. Darwinex is a UK broker and also an investment platform where you can share your signals with other investors. Both have excellent historical data quality. Dukascopy simply offers a longer data history. For most major currency pairs, it goes back to 2003, while Darwinex has data available from 2017. It's not that one is better than the other. Dukascopy just has more history available. Another good approach is to combine both data feeds during strategy building or backtesting to see how sensitive your strategies are to different data sources. What is a spread? A spread is the difference between the buy and sell price. For major currency pairs such as Euro-USD, it's usually around half a pip to 1 pip. For exotic pairs, it can be 5 pips or more. In addition, there's a commission, a fee for each traded lot, which varies by broker. So the total trading cost equals the spread plus the commission. These costs should always be included in your backtests. It's better to be realistic and conservative than disappointed later in live trading. What is a swap? A swap is the interest rate differential between two currencies that you pay or receive when holding a position. A swap can even be positive. Swaps don't matter much in intraday trading because positions are closed before the market ends each day. But in swing trading, swaps can have a more noticeable effect on profitability. And in long-term strategies, they are absolutely essential. From our experience, swaps can take around 10% of potential profits. So make sure to check your swap settings in the data manager to get realistic backtest results. What is slippage? Slippage is the difference between the expected and the actual execution price of a trade. Simply put, the trade doesn't open exactly where we want it, but a few pips higher or lower. That's why it's a good idea to set an average slippage as part of standard backtest. When comparing the backtest with the platform, make sure to set this value without any slippage or excessive spread. Otherwise, the results won't match those in MetaTrader 5, TradeStation or any other platform. All these parameters time zone, spreads, commissions, swaps, and expected slippage are defined in what's called a broker profile. This determines the conditions under which StrategyQuant tests your strategies. It's important to understand what each value means, and especially where to get it. Ideally, directly from your broker's data. And here's a pro tip. Create a profile with a worst case scenario, avoid the spread and average slippage. If your strategy still makes money under those conditions, it has a much better chance of working in live trading. Now let's show how to set up a broker profile directly in StrategyQuant and how to download and configure your data. I will demonstrate this for Dukascopy and Darwinex, but in the following videos, we will primarily work with Dukascopy data. We are in StrategyQuant, so let's switch to the Data Manager tab. In the default installation, Dukascopy data are already available, so the first step is to update the data. You can click Update All or Update Selected buttons. For now, I will choose Update Selected. I select the symbols I want and click Update Selected, and this starts the update and downloads the current data. It's simple like this. Now let's see where to find broker profiles and how to set them up. I won't show you the full export process in this video. You can find that in a separate video dedicated to this topic, and the link is in the description below this video. Now I will show you how to apply existing broker profiles that are already available in StrategyQuant for Dukascopy data. In the next videos, we will work with the Dukascopy or Darwinex broker profile. But please note, the Darwinex Zero Group is a custom stock group designed for trading equities at Darwinex Zero via Alga Cloud. We will use these two brokers' profiles. These default profiles cannot be edited, so if you want to add your own, create a new one using this button. A detailed description of how to do that can be found in another video, and again the link is either in the top right corner or in the description. Let's now add a symbol for Dukascopy. Click Add and a window will open. Use the first switch to select what type of data you want to download. In our case, we will download 1-minute data, it's faster, but if you want to create a separate set of tick data, select that option instead. For now, choose M1 data and select the Dukascopy broker profile. All downloaded data and settings from the profile will automatically apply to the downloaded symbol. Select the symbol you want to download, for example, CAD-JPY, and maybe another commodity or an index like the Japanese index. Agree to the data license terms, and the Dukascopy postfix will be added automatically to the name. It's a good idea to keep this postfix so you can easily identify your symbols later. To make it match other symbols, I will delete the end and leave only Dukas. Click Save. Sometimes the broker profile might not immediately find the right instrument. If that happens, just locate it manually. Select CAD-JPY and the specific settings for the Japanese index. Then click Save again. The symbols will now be added. If I select them and click Update Selected, the settings from the Dukascopy broker profile will apply, including time zone, predefined spreads, and swaps exported from the platform. Before downloading, let's check the instrument settings. When I filter by the Dukascopy broker profile, I can see all imported symbols here. If you download data where instrument settings are missing, go to your platform and import them. The instructions are in the description. Here you can see the default spread settings and, if necessary, the default slippage. You can adjust slippage according to the instrument and your broker's quote. Now let's show how to download a symbol for Darwinex. Click Darwinex, add data, and let's download data for the Nasdaq index. Type N in the search box, select the Darwinex broker profile, and agree to the terms. Please note, in the trial version, the number of tickers for Darwinex is limited to major currency pairs and indexes. Sometimes it doesn't recognize the symbol automatically, but if you type the first few letters of the ticker, the instrument will pair. Click Save. When you filter by Darwinex, you will see the downloaded data there. Darwinex doesn't provide separate minute data, so we always download tick data for Darwinex. If I want to download data for a specific instrument, I select one or more instruments and click Update Selected. When I switch back to the Dukascopy broker profile, we wait until the download finishes. And that's all for this lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us on Discord or in the comments below this video. If you would by chance encounter any problems, please write to us at lab@strategyquant.com and our team will be happy to help. Don't forget to follow the instruction and stick with the same style throughout the lessons. Try not to skip between them. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.